So today we'll be discussing decision making and looping constructs in C. You know what for we are using looping constructs. So if you want to repeat some set of statements, okay, for fixed number of times, then in that case we'll go for looping. We have discussed the decision making and branching constructs where we are going to test some condition. Based on that condition, if it is satisfied, we are going to execute some set of statements. If condition is a failure, then we are going to execute some other set of statements. So that is two-way branching and multi-way branchings we have discussed. So only one time the statements will be executed in branching constructs, right? It is not repeatedly executed. But if you come across a situation where you want to execute some set of statements for some fixed number of times, so in that case you need to go for looping constructs. Okay, a repetitive process if it is involved, in that case we need to go for looping constructs. So how actually we are going to perform the repetitive operation and what constructs are supported, that we are going to see in the further slides. So in looping, a block of statements, it may be one statement or set of statements, they will be executed repeatedly until some condition for the termination of the loop is satisfied. So if the condition what you are testing is a failure, then the control will come outside the repetitive process. Okay, so this is how the looping construct will work. So looping means repeating. That is the meaning of looping. So what you are repeating? Some set of statements. Okay, and how many times you are going to repeat, that depends on the test condition what you have given. So if the test condition is satisfied or if it evaluates to true, then only the block of statements will be executed. But if the test condition what you have given, if it evaluates to false, then control will come outside the loop. Okay. So a program loop, it consists of two segments. So what are those two segments you find in any program loop? So it is the control statement, other is called as the body of the loop. Okay. So control statement meaning you are going to write some conditional construct. So for testing the condition, to whether to enter the loop or not, that is decided based on the condition what you have given. So that is called as control statement. So whenever you are constructing or whenever you are creating any loop in C programming language, so these are the two segments you need to have, okay, for the program loop. So what are the two segments? One is called as the control loop, other is called as the body of the loop. The control statement will contain the conditional statement for testing the condition, and body of the loop indicates the statements which are to be executed upon satisfaction of that condition. If whatever the condition you are testing, if it evaluates to true, then what is to be executed? That is called as body of the loop. So these are the two segments you find in a program loop. So coming to the types of loops, so there are different ways of classifying the loops. So this is one way of classifying the loop based on where the control statement appears in the loop. Okay. So depending upon the position of the control statement in the loop, there are two types of loops. So which are those two types? It is entry control loop or another one is exit control loop. Okay. So entry control loop is also called as pre-test loop and exit control loop is also called as post-test loop. So this classification is done based on the position of the control statement. So I told in the previous point, a looping construct, it will be having two segments, control statement and the body of the loop. Okay, depending on where the control statement is written, we are going to have these two classifications of loops. So one is called as entry control loop and other one is called as exit control loop. So we shall see each one of this one by one. First coming to the entry control loop, which is also called as pre-test loop. So just observe the flow chart here where the test condition is appearing. So in case of entry control, the test condition appears before the body of the loop. See, just observe. As I told, the classification is done based on where the test condition appears. If the test condition appears before the body of the loop, then it is actually entry control loop or pre-test loop. So why it is called as pre-test loop is, first is it is going to test the condition. So you know that before the body of the loop, test condition appears, as you can see in the flow chart. So first it is going to test the condition. If that test condition evaluates to true, then only the control enters the body of the loop. and it executes the statements given within this body of the loop. After completion of execution, where the control will be transferred to, so it will go to the test condition part to test the condition for the next time. Okay, so again, if it evaluates to true, it enters the body of the loop, it executes, and control is transferred to the beginning of the test condition part. So this process is repeated until whatever the condition you are testing, if it until it is evaluated to true, this process is repeated. So once this test condition fails, then control will come outside the body of the loop. Okay, so just see the flow chart. So the flow of logic, how it is, you can observe in the flow chart. So this is the working of entry control loop. So first you need to write the statement. Test condition appears before the body of the loop in entry control loop. And how actually entry control loop works? First it is going to test the condition. See, if the first time itself the test condition is false, or if it evaluates to false, in that case, not even one time the body of the loop will be executed. Correct? So this is how the entry control loop works. So if test condition is a failure, then 0 times the body of the loop will be executed. But if it is satisfied, then it enters one completion of the body of the loop, or one time if the body of the loop is executed, that is called as one iteration. We use the terminology iteration to indicate the execution of body of the loop. So if the n iterations are taking place means, so n times the body of the loop is executed. That is the meaning. Okay. So this is the explanation for entry control loop. As you can see on the right hand side, the points specified. First, the condition is tested. If it evaluates to true, then only the control enters the body of the loop. Correct. After that, where the control will go? See, and as I've already told, execution of body of the loop, it is called as iteration. After executing the body of the loop, the control is transferred to the test condition part to test the condition for next iteration. So whether to repeat the body of the loop for the next time or not, that depends on the test condition. So if it evaluates to true, then only it enters the body of the loop for the second time. It executes all the statements and transfers the control to the beginning of the loop. Okay? The process is repeated. So once the test condition fails, then control will come to the next statement outside the loop. Okay. So this is how entry control loop works. I've already mentioned, if the test condition is a failure, that means if first time itself the test condition is false, in that case body of the loop will not be executed. So not even one time the body of the loop will be executed. The control will simply come outside the body of the loop. So in case of branching construct, after testing the condition, if it evaluates to true, one time the statements in the true block will be executed. If it were to be two-way branching, if the condition is a failure, only one time the false block statements will be executed. After executing either true block or false block, control will come to the next statement outside the if-else construct. So that's how if-else construct was working. So in case of this entry control loop, this is a looping construct what we are discussing. So after execution of the body of the loop, control will not go to the next statement outside the loop. Where the control will be transferred to, it is to the beginning of the loop, that is to the test condition part to test the condition. Okay, so this is how entry control loop works. Hope you have followed. What do you mean by entry control? Why it is called as entry control? So since the condition, test condition appears before the body of the loop, it is called as entry control loop. Okay. Why it is called as pre-test loop is to enter the body of the loop that is decided based on the test condition. So we are testing the condition first. If it evaluates to true, then only control enters the body of the loop. So that's why it is called as pre-test. Okay. So we are deciding whether to execute the body of the loop or not based on the test condition. So not even one time the body of the loop will be executed if the test condition fails. So this is how entry control loop works. Is this clear? What do you mean by entry control loop or pre-test loop? Yes or no? Followed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Coming to another type of loop, that is exit control loop, which is also called as post-test loop. So just observe where the control statement is appearing. So after the body of the loop, we are finding the control statement. So control statement means we are going to write some conditional construct. So that is written using this rhombus symbol. As you can observe in this flow chart. So in case of exit control loop, the test condition appears after the body of the loop. Okay, just observe, in case of entry control, test condition appears before the body of the loop, whereas in exit control loop, the test condition appears after the body of the loop. Okay, and then so coming to the working of this exit control loop, so first time control enters the body of the loop and it executes all the statements within the body of the loop. So after that, it is going to test the condition. Just see, actually it should be a directed arrow here. So after executing the body of the loop, it is going to test the condition. If the test condition is true, then it goes for the next iteration. That means control will be brought to the beginning of the loop to execute the loop statements. So after that, again it goes for testing the condition. See, the process is repeated until whatever the test condition you have given is true. So once the test condition becomes false, control will come outside the body of the loop. Okay, so outside the loop to the next statement, control will be transferred to. So this is the working of exit control loop. So this is what the point you need to note with respect to exit control loop. Okay, so the test condition appears after the body of the loop. Then first the body of the loop is executed and then the condition is tested for deciding about the next iteration. If the test condition fails, next iteration will not take place. Simply the control is transferred to the next statement outside the loop. Okay. So if the test condition evaluates to true, then only control enters the body of the loop for the next iteration and the process keeps on repeating until the test condition is evaluated to true. So once the test condition fails, then the control will come outside the body of the loop so that it can execute the next statement outside the loop. So these are the two types of looping constructs. Okay, or you can classify the loop into two types, that is entry control loop and exit control loop, which are also called as pre-test loop and post-test loop respectively. So why it is called as pre-test? First the condition is tested. If it evaluates to true, then only control enters the body of the loop. Why it is called as post-test loop? First the body of the loop is executed and then it goes for testing the condition at the end. So if it evaluates to true, then it goes for again repeating the body of the loop for the second time. The process keeps on repeating. So whether it is pre-test or post-test loop, only if the condition what you are testing evaluates to true, then only the control will enter the loop for the next iteration. If the test condition is a failure, then control comes outside the loop. So this is what you need to remember. And one more important point you need to know with respect to exit control loop is, even though the test condition is a failure, so what happens is, since the body of the loop is executed for the first time, even though the test condition is a failure, you'll see that at least one time the body of the loop is executed. Okay, that means the minimum number of iterations in exit control loop is 1, whereas in entry control loop, minimum number of iterations is 0. Okay, so this is one more important difference you need to know with respect to entry control and exit control. That's what I've mentioned in this point. Even though the test condition is false, the body of the loop is executed one time. Okay, but this doesn't happen in entry control loop. So since it is a pre-test loop, so if the first time itself test condition is false, then it will not enter the body of the loop at all. Control will be simply transferred to the next statement outside the body of the loop. So this is what happens in entry control. Whereas in exit control, first it is going to execute the body of the loop. At the end, it is going to test the condition. That means after it tests the condition, if it comes to know that it is a failure, but already the body of the loop would have been executed. Okay, so if you come across a situation where at least one time the body of the loop is to be executed, so in that case you can go for this exit control loop. Okay, so this is about exit control loop. So with this knowledge, we shall try to list out the differences between, that is the difference in the sense, we shall try to compare the entry controlled and exit control loops. It may not be the difference, it may be with respect to few points, it may be the similarity of finding between these two. We are trying to compare these two loops in C. Okay. Coming to the entry control loop, with respect to where the test condition appears, you can list out this difference. Here, the test condition appears before the body of the loop, whereas in exit control loop, the test condition appears after the body of the loop. So this is one difference you can give. And you know that entry control loop is also called as pre-test loop, where the condition is tested first, and if it evaluates to true, then only the body of the loop is executed. That is entry control. Whereas in exit control loop, the body of the loop is executed first, and then the condition is tested for next iteration. So this is another difference you can give, another comparison you can have with respect to entry control and exit control. So then coming to the number of iterations, minimum number of iterations is 0 in case of entry control loop, whereas the minimum number of iteration is 1. Meaning, if the test condition is a failure for the first time itself, not even one time the body of the loop is executed in case of entry control loop, whereas in exit control loop, at least one, that is, if the test condition is a failure, then one time the body of the loop will be executed. So coming to, we shall assume the number of iterations as n. So that means number of times the body of the loop is executed. One time if it is executed, it is called as one iteration. We'll use the terminology iteration to tell the number of times the loop is repeated. Okay. So here, if you take n as the number of iterations, then how many number of times the test condition will be evaluated? So in case of entry control loop, okay, it is n plus 1 times the test condition will be evaluated, whereas in case of exit control loop, the test condition will be evaluated n time. So how it is with example, we'll see. Okay, remember this point. Number of times the test condition is evaluated in entry control loop, it is n plus 1 times. That is n times for true part, true case, and one more time for deciding it is a failure. Okay, but whereas in case of exit control loop, it is n times the test condition is evaluated. Coming to number of times the loop is executed, that is the body of the loop, it is n, whereas in case of exit control, it is also n. Number of times the body of the loop is executed is n. Whether you use entry control or exit control loop, if n is the number of iterations, then number of times the body of the loop is executed, it is n. Okay. So coming to the examples for entry control loop, it is while loop, for loop, which are the looping constructs supported in C. These are called as entry control loops. And for exit control loop, you can take the as an example do while loop. So these are the three looping constructs supported in C. That is while loop, for loop, and do while loop. Where while loop and for loop are entry control loop, do while loop is an exit control loop. If it is asked to compare entry control and exit control, with respect to these points, you can do the comparison. If you want to give the flow chart also, you can also specify the flow chart for entry control and exit control. So see, all information you can get from this flow chart itself. Just observe where the test condition is appearing in entry control and in exit control. With respect to that, you are giving a difference. And then coming to the working of entry control, it tests the condition. If it is true, it enters the body of the loop. Whereas here, first body of the loop is executed and then it goes for testing the condition. See, so if first time itself the test condition fails, then number of iterations will be 0. Not even one time the body of the loop will be executed. That is in case of entry control loop. Whereas in exit control loop, the minimum number of iteration is 1. Okay. So how many times this test condition is evaluated? So that is n plus 1 times in case of entry control loop. Since it keeps on repeating n times, so if the test condition is a failure, that means for bringing the control to the next statement outside the body of the loop, one more time the test condition will be evaluated for the failure case. So it is actually n plus 1 times the test condition will be evaluated in case of entry control loop. Whereas in exit control loop, it is just n times the body of the loop will be, the test condition will be evaluated. So these are few differences you can give with respect to these two loopings supported in C, that is entry control and exit control. Okay. Now we shall see the three constructs supported in C for performing this looping operation. One is called as the while loop, the other is called as the do while and for. So these are the only three looping constructs supported in C. Okay, while, do while, and for loop. Now we'll discuss one by one the working of each of these looping constructs. First, coming to the while loop. This is the simplest looping construct supported in C, that is the while loop. And to which category it comes into. So while it is an entry control loop. In the previous slide, I gave an example for entry control loop, that is while loop. Okay. And what is the keyword you are using in while loop construct? It is while keyword. So WHILE. So this is one of the keyword out of 32 keywords supported in ANSI C, okay, which you are going to use for repetitive process. Coming to the syntax of while loop, just observe. This is the syntax and this is the flowchart. If you just compare this, you can understand the working of while loop construct. Once I say it is an entry control loop, you should know the working of this looping construct. See here, uh, whatever the initialization you want to do, okay, so that we have to write it before the loop. Okay, before you write the while loop header, so the first statement, that is while within common parenthesis test condition what you have written, this is called as the loop header. Okay, so before you write the loop header or before writing the while loop, you need to write the initialization part. Okay, so what this initialization part is, so for testing some condition you will be using a variable. Okay, so that variable we call it as a loop control variable. Remember, within the test condition part, whatever the variable you are going to use, that is called as the loop control variable. So before the loop starts, you have to initialize that loop control variable. Just observe, in this while loop, initialization part appears before the while loop, and at the test condition part, we are going to write some relational expression. Normally, we'll go for relational expression to test the condition, and within the pair of flower brace, we are going to write the body of the loop. That means the statements which are to be repeated upon satisfaction of this condition, that we are going to write within pair of flower brace. Okay, after that, while loop is terminated, so whatever the statements you want to execute, that will be writing after closing flower brace. So just observe, flower brace is optional in this looping construct. So if it were to be only one statement you want to repeat for fixed number of times, then no need of flower brace. But if you want to repeat set of statements to indicate the block, you need to make use of pair of flower brace. Okay, this is one point. And I hope the syntax is clear here. Initialization part is written before the loop. Then we are using the keyword while, and you need to strictly follow the syntax here. Keyword while is used. Within common parenthesis, we'll specify the test condition. And after that, we are going to use flower brace to write the set of statements to be repeated. Then closing flower brace is written. Then the statements which are to be written, which are to be executed after completion of the loop, that will write after the closing flower brace is given. Now just observe the working of this while loop construct. So as I told, initialization part is executed first to initialize the loop control variable. The loop control variable means the variable which you are using in the test condition part. That is called as the loop control variable. Okay, and that we are going to write before the loop starts. That will be executed only one time. Okay, initialization part will be executed only one time, that too before the loop begins. So then, since it is an entry control loop, it goes for testing the condition. If it evaluates to true, then control enters and it executes the body of the loop. After that, where the control will be transferred to, it goes to the test condition part for testing or for deciding whether to go for the next iteration or not. If it evaluates to true, whatever the test condition you have given, then it will not enter the body of the loop. Instead, control will go to the next statement outside the loop. Okay, so this is how the loop will be executed. So what you have to take care of is, within the body of the loop, you need to have a statement which will be updating the loop control variable. If you miss that, what happens is, each time the control comes to the beginning of the loop to test the condition will be evaluated to true and it enters the body of the loop. So that means the process keeps on repeating infinitely. So you need to see that the loop is not infinite. At some point, after some number of iterations, the loop has to be terminated. So for that, what you have to take care of is whatever the loop control variable you are using, so that loop control variable is to be updated in the body of the loop. Okay. So see, whenever you are creating or constructing any loop, whether it is a while loop, do while loop, or for loop, these are the three statements you need to take care of. One is the initialization part, the other is the condition part, and one more is the updation part. So here in case of while loop, the initialization part appears before the loop. Then this is where in the loop header we are going to write the test condition. As you can see in the syntax, in the loop header itself we have written the test condition, and within the body of the loop we are going to write the statement to update the loop control variable. So these three sections or these three parts must be there in any looping construct. So otherwise your loop may become infinite. The infinite loop means the loop will never terminate. Each time you go for testing the condition, it will be always evaluated to true. If it is so, once the control enters the loop, it will stay in the loop itself. It will never terminate. So test condition will never be evaluated to false. So that's why it will be repeatedly executing the body of the loop. So this is infinite loop. So you should not create infinite loop here. At some point, the loop has to be terminated. Okay, this is what you need to take care of. So remember, any loop you consider, whether while, do while, or for loop, so these are the three parts you need to have. Initialization part to initialize the loop control variable. In case of while loop, it is written before the loop. Then in the loop header, we'll write the test condition part. And within the body of the loop, you need to have updation part to update the loop control variable. So each time the control enters the body of the loop, the updation part is executed so that the test condition will be false. It will be evaluated to false after some period of time. Okay. So once it evaluates to false, control will come outside the loop. Okay. So this is how the while loop will work. The same thing. Whatever the explanation you have given for entry control loop, same explanation you can give here. So that's what I have written here. I will not explain it again. Hope you have understood the working of while loop. Now we shall see an example for while loop. It is a C program I have considered to print first 5 natural numbers using while loop. Okay. So we need to include the header file stdio.h. Then this is the main function header we have written int main. And as a loop control variable, I have taken the variable I. I have declared an integer variable I, okay, where I is called as a loop control variable. So whenever we are dealing with any loops, usually we'll take the loop control variables as I, J, etc. So now, as you know, if you can recall the syntax what we discussed in the previous slide, the initialization part must appear before the loop. So since it is to print first 5 natural numbers, what is the initialization I have to do to the loop control variable I? So what is the initial value or the first value I need to print? What is the first value?
0.
1, right? See, I equals 1 semicolon. This is the first executable part we are going to write within the main function I equals 1. So this is what the initialization part I am talking about in the previous slide. Okay. So next, we need to write the while loop header. You know the syntax of writing while loop. While is the keyword you are using. Within parentheses, you are going to write the test condition. So what is the condition I have to test? I need to make use of the relational operator less than or equal to. So this is how we are writing the while loop header. While I is less than or equal to 5. Just see, this is the test condition part we have written. In the test condition, what you are seeing? A relational expression you are seeing. I is called as the loop control variable, and 5 is the value we are comparing with I value. And what is the operator we have used? It is less than or equal to. It is one of the relational operators supported in C. So how actually it works, we'll see once I discuss the complete program. So after this test condition is written, we'll open the flower base. Since it is multiple statements to be executed, I'm using flower base here. What is the operation to be performed or to be repeated? It is print operation. I need to print first 5 natural numbers using while loop construct. So what operation is to be repeated n times? It is the print operation. So for printing any information onto the screen, you know what construct to be used? It is printf. Okay, so just write printf, and you can, since it is integer data to be printed, for percentage d slash n comma I you are going to give. After that, you need to update the loop control variable. So how to update? I can use this expression I plus plus semicolon. So this is called as increment operator plus plus in C. If you don't want to use I plus plus, you can write I equals I plus 1. Arithmetic expression also you can write I equals I plus 1 semicolon. So this is also fine. So the same operation is represented using increment operator I plus plus. What do you mean by I plus plus is to the current value held in I, value 1 is added. I equals I plus 1 is the equivalent statement for I plus plus. So after this operation is performed, we are closing flat brace, then we'll give return 0 and we'll close the main function. See? So this is the complete program to print first and natural numbers. So first try to understand the syntax we have used for while loop. Then we shall see, we shall try to trace this so that what output you are going to get once you execute this, you'll understand. Okay. See, we have taken a loop control variable I. One variable is sufficient for this, and we were not reading any input for this program. See, 0 inputs are read since it is clearly given first 5 natural numbers to be printed. If it is given in the question, first n natural numbers are to be printed, then in that case you require uh, uh, read statement for reading the value of n during execution time. But since it is clearly mentioned, only first 5 natural numbers are to be printed, I need not read any input. So, and you can observe, first we are initializing the loop control variable. It is executed only once. If this is the first executable statement within the main function. After this executable part, that is I equals 1 is executed. Now the while loop construct is encountered. How this while loop will work, that we'll see. Okay. So, what is the initial value of I? So just let me just write the iterations here. See, initial value of I is 1. So we are into the first iteration. Let me write first iteration. Okay. So in the first iteration, what happens is initial value of I is 1. So this 1 is tested with 5. Is 1 less than or equal to 5? Is it true or false? We are testing whether 1 is less than or equal to 5. So since relational operators will return the value either 0 or 1, right? So since 1 is less than or equal to 5, condition is satisfied, this expression evaluates to 1. So while 1 means condition is satisfied, so control will enter the body of the loop. Okay. So in the first iteration, what happens? Condition is tested, and since the condition evaluates to true, control enters the while loop. And what is the first statement you are having within the while loop? Printf percentage d comma I. I value in the first iteration, what is the I value? It is 1. 1 gets printed onto the screen. Okay. After printing I, since slash n is given, cursor is brought to the new line. Right? Then where the control will be transferred to? After these two statements within the body of the loop are executed, control will be brought to the beginning of the while loop to test the condition. Okay. So this is what happens after one time the body of the loop is executed. So now, what is the new value of I? It is 2. I plus plus we have done. That means current value of I was 1. We are adding 1 to it. We got the value as 2. So now, once the control comes to the beginning of the while loop, it tests the condition is 2 less than or equal to 5. This is what the condition tested. So we are into the second iteration. Since the condition is satisfied, now second iteration takes place. So what, since this is evaluated to true, okay, or it results in value 1, control enters the while loop for the second time and it prints I value. What is the I value in the second iteration? It is 2. 2 gets printed onto the screen. After printing 2, since slash n is given, cursor is brought to the new line. Okay. So now, after execution of all the statements in the body of the loop, where the control will be transferred to, it goes to the beginning of the while loop to test the condition. And again here, The new value of I is 3. Now we are testing whether 3 less than or equal to 5. Condition is satisfied. So we are into the third iteration. The control enters the body of the loop third time. Correct? And what is the statement that is executed within the loop? Current value of I, which is 3. 3 gets printed onto the screen and I is updated to 4. Okay. What is the I value? Now I value becomes 4 and we are testing. Control comes the beginning of the while loop to test the condition is 4 less than or equal to 5. This is what the condition we are testing. Again it is true. So the condition has been evaluated to true. So control enters the loop for the fourth time. We are into the fourth iteration, right? We are into fourth iteration. And what is the operation performed within the loop? It is the print operation. 4 is printed and cursor is brought to the new line. So after that, we are going to update I. I value will become 5 now, correct? I will be 5 and control comes the beginning of the while loop. So again we are testing is 5 less than or equal to 5. This is the condition we are testing is 5 less than or equal to 5. Since the condition is satisfied for the fifth time, okay, we are into the fifth iteration. So what happens in the fifth iteration? Value 5. Current value of I is 5 here. You can observe this is the current value of I that gets printed position wherever cursor is blinking. And after that, new line character is executed, which brings the cursor to the next line. So then I value is updated. I value will become 6. With this updated value of I, once the control comes to the beginning of the while loop, so what is the condition it is testing? Is 6 less than or equal to 5? We are checking whether 6 is less than or equal to 5. No, 6 is neither less than nor equal to 5. At this point, the test condition fails. So where the control will be transferred to? Since the condition is a failure, control comes outside the while loop where return 0 statement is executed, which terminates the program and returns the control to the operating system. So this is how the while loop works. So how many iterations are taken place or how many number of times this body of the loop is executed. See, if I have given n is equal to 5, okay, if number of iterations, how many iterations have taken place? You can see 5 iterations have taken place. Now the body of the
N
loop is
plus 1.
executed 5 times. So if n is the number of iterations, n times the body of the loop is executed. What about the test condition? How many times the test condition is evaluated? Just count number of times the test condition is evaluated. See, one time
6
you are
times.
testing 6 times, right? That means if n is the number of
Plus 1
iterations,
time.
n plus 1 times. See, 1 less than equal to 5 we tested, then we tested 2 less than equal to 5, then we tested 3 less than or equal to 5, then 4 less than equal to 5, 5 less than equal to 5. This is for all true cases. For false case, to terminate the loop, one more time we have tested the condition. So if n is the number of iterations, n plus 1 times the test condition is evaluated. This is in case of entry control loop. Okay, so this is what you need to remember. If I had taken I value as 6, then not even one time the body of the loop would have been executed. Okay, so this is how the while loop works. Just observe what are the points you need to remember. Initialization part will be executed only one time. That you have to do before the loop. If you write it within the loop, what happens? Each time the loop body of the loop is executed, I gets reinitialized to 1 and the test condition will never fail. To see that initialization part is written before, how many times it will be executed? It is only one time. Test condition part you are going to write within this common parenthesis in the while loop header. Whatever the set of statements you want to execute, you will write it within pair of flower brace to indicate the block. Okay. And one more statement we should not miss is the updation part. If you miss this updation part, say for example, I won't give I plus plus, what happens? What will be the output if I don't give I plus plus?
Infinitely.
What value will be printed infinitely?
1.
1 will be printed, correct? Say I is 1. 1 less than or equal to 5, condition is satisfied. It prints I value. 1 gets printed. After printing 1, control will go to updation part. That is to the beginning of the while loop. Again, I value is 1. 1 less than or equal to 5, it is true, it enters, it prints 1. Repeatedly, it will be printing 1. So until the memory becomes full, it keeps on printing value 1. Okay, so this is what the problem occurs if you miss this updation part. So whenever you are creating any loop, see that the loop control variable is initialized properly and you have tested the condition, and you have to see that at some point the test condition must fail. Okay, for that, accordingly, you need to write some updation part. In this example, I have taken increment operation to update the loop control variable. And it is no compulsion that you have to use these operators only to perform maybe the test condition or updation part. You can, based on your requirement, you can use any of the operator or any of the updation part. It may be the subtraction operation, division operation, multiplication, anything. So at some point, you have to see that the test condition is going to fail. It should not be an infinite loop. Infinite loop means the loop will never be terminated. That is called as infinite loop. So you have to take care of that. Okay. So can anyone tell what changes I have to make to this program? So to print the same first 5 natural numbers in reverse order, I want to print the output as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is what the output I need to have.
Initialize I is equal to 5
Yes.
and I
First,
minus.
very good. The first value I need to print is 5. So I need to write in the initialization part I equals to 5. Then what is the condition I have to test? Should I test to less than or equal to? I need to replace this operator with which operator?
Greater than or equal to.
Greater than or equal to. What is the minimum value I need to test? 1, right? See, I equals to 5, I greater than equal to 1, then I plus plus I need to replace with I minus minus. I is equal to I minus 1 I have to write, or I minus minus I have to write. So if you are initializing the loop control variable for maximum value, then you need to test the condition with minimum, and then you need to use decrement operator to update the loop control variable. So this is the decrement loop what we have constructed. So in the previous example, it is an increment loop what we had constructed, where we had initialized the loop control variable with minimum value. Then we tested the condition for maximum value, and we had updated the loop control variable by using increment operator. So this is an increment loop what we had constructed. So if you want to print the first 5 natural numbers in reverse order, you have to construct a decrement loop. So how this decrement loop works? How actually it works? Just see here. So if you are writing I equals to 5, let me just writing code blocks itself. See, this is what the increment loop we have constructed, where I is initialized to 1. It is tested for maximum value and we are incrementing. We just compile and execute this program. You know what will be the output. Okay. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is printed, each in new line. If you don't want to print in new line, if you want to print all the data in the same line, remove slash and you can give a space if you want. Okay. So here I want to make changes in this program to construct a decrement loop. See, I'll initialize I to maximum value 5 and I greater than or equal to 1 I'll test. Then I'll use decrement operator minus minus. This is the decrement loop what we have constructed. So how actually this will work? Initially I is 5. Then we test the condition, is 5 greater than or equal to 1? Yes, it is true. 5 is greater than 1. So control enters the while loop and it prints the current value of 5. What is the current value of 5 that gets printed? It is 5. 5 gets printed. So after that, what will be the updation to the loop control variable? I is decremented by 1. I becomes 4. Correct? Control comes to the beginning of the loop, where 4 is tested with 1. Is 4 greater than or equal to 1? So 4 is greater than 1. Condition is satisfied. So control enters the loop for the second time, where it prints 4. So 4 will be printed in the new line. After printing 4, I is decremented to 3. We test whether 3 greater than or equal to 1. Yes, it is true. It enters. It prints 3 onto the screen. After that, it decrements I value to 2. 2 is tested whether it is greater than or equal to 1. Yes, it is true. It enters and it prints 2 and it decrements I value. So I value will be 1. The control comes the beginning of the while loop. It checks is 1 greater than equal to 1. So 1 is not greater than 1, but 1 is equal to 1. Condition is satisfied. Then control enters the loop and it prints 1 onto the screen. After that, it decrements I by 1. So I value will be 0 now. Once the control comes at the beginning of the while loop to test the condition, is 0 greater than equal to 1, condition fails. 0 is neither greater than 1 nor equal to 1. So control comes outside the loop where it executes return 0 and control is returned to the operating system. So what is the output printed? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this is the order in which the data will be printed. You can just execute and you can see. So what is the output you are getting? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In reverse order, the data is printed. So this is a decrement loop. It's left to your implementation, whether you want to construct an increment loop or decrement loop. So if you want to decide only, if you want to use loop for deciding the number of iterations, you can either construct an increment loop or you can construct a decrement loop. Okay. So in this example, you can observe it is I is initialized to the maximum value. We are testing for minimum. If you are testing for minimum, we'll use normally greater than equal to symbol. And to update the loop control variable, we have used decrement operator. What is the equivalent statement? It is I equals I minus 1. This is the equivalent statement for I minus minus. So which and all the operators we have encountered in this program? It is assignment operator equals for initializing the loop control variable. To test the condition, we have used relational operator greater than or equal to. And to decrement the loop control variable, we have used decrement operator. My double minus is called as decrement operator. If you don't want to use this decrement operator, you can use arithmetic operator minus for performing the subtraction operation. So 1 will be subtracted from I and result will be stored back in the variable I. So the statement can be written using decrement operator as I minus minus semicolon. Okay. So this is actually an unary operator since it is operating on one operand. We are specifying only one operand for this minus minus operator, that is decrement operator. So all those operator concepts we'll be discussing in detail. Okay. Hope this is clear how we constructed an increment loop and decrement loop using while loop. Don't forget this updation part, otherwise it becomes infinite. Okay. Have you all followed how while loop works?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.